What is going on, fellas, and welcome back to the Director of Football Journeyman with me, FoggyPlays, on FM21. Today, we're going to be looking at the end of season review and the transfers that we have done up to the first game of the season in the Bundesliga. If you missed the last episode, definitely recommend go watching it. It was against Valencia in the Champions League final, and kind of lets you know what's going on in the save up to this point. So we have a busy summer amongst everything else because although we're not doing the transfers in this series, we do have the World Cup with Spain, so it'll be interesting to see how that goes. Thankfully, I don't have to do transfers for Bear as well, because if I did, it would make life an awful lot more difficult. But that being said, if you do want to enjoy the video, do make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. It makes a huge difference to the channel, and YouTube loves it when you do it. Right, first, so as I said, the end of season review is upon us. The 2028-29 season. It was a good season, but also disappointing. If you haven't seen the last episode, definitely go back and have a look at it, because yeah, things happened. So the new arrivals, is there any... there's nobody who's been given the star to say that they're the best signing that we've had. We did pick up some very good players. Sekrovic is one of those very good players. Cruz and Boyce are so high because they played in the second team. They didn't actually make any appearances for the first team. Cruz potentially gets into the first team next season. Bojangles had a very good season. Orlando, in and out of the team an awful lot, but scored 13 goals. I think 4 of those were in the first game of the season, though. So, Grow, surprised he played so well. When he joined originally, I didn't think he was going to be that good. Craig Shaw's going to be coming back. Latif, people did quite well. Players out. Yeah, okay, that's whatever. We did pick up some quite good players this year. In the Bundesliga, we finished third. The board expectations was actually not to qualify for the Champions League, but to qualify for the Conference League, I think it was. It's just changed here because of how we did. We had a 97% average home attendance, which is pretty good. Almost 30,000, well, 29,500 showed up to our games, which is delightful. Could potentially look to build a new stadium, maybe. Frank Eigler was the competition's top goal scorer in the Champions League. We were expected to reach the first knockout round. We made it to the final, ended up losing. Eigler scored 12 goals in that. Super Cup, nobody cares. Pokal, which pretend that didn't happen. We won our first game 11-1. Lost our second one 3-0. We really do struggle. The biggest win, obviously, was our first game of the season in the Pokal. 11-1 against Cray. The match to remember was against Mainz. Would have thought that the Pokal match would have been the one to remember, but fair enough. And the goal of the season went to Hillenbrand in the 10-goal thriller against Carluche. Fair enough. Finance-wise, we've had a little bit of a reputation boost, which is quite nice. It's not changed over the past season. Not in words, but in stairs it has. Sponsorship has plummeted from last season. Broadcast revenue has gone up. Corporate and hospitality has gone up. Competition prize money has jumped up quite a nice amount. And the matchday commercial revenue has not changed. We did, however, sell 460,000 shirts. Hillenbrand was the biggest selling shirt for the season. Eigler, Kulikov, Bojangles, and Sekrovic. I think Bojangles, because we changed his name halfway through the season, not even halfway, like towards the end of the season, probably a lot of people had to buy new ones of his shirts, so that's kind of makes sense why we sold so many. And okay, yeah. So the starting 11, or the best 11, from our season had João Felipe in goal. I suppose he did play the majority of games. Had 1 assist, well done. Ground Coops, Al Salman and Munaz, Sekrovic, Hillenbrand, Abdullah, Televsky, Orlando, and Eigler. Interesting that Kulikov doesn't make it in at all. Hillenbrand did score 15 goals, Orlando with 13, Eigler 31, Sekrovic managed 6, Televsky with 4. I'm surprised that like Abdullah and Televsky both made it in with their less than ideal average ratings. We won nothing, but fans player of the year was Glenn Coops, also young player of the year. The man is an absolute weapon. Like Glenn Coops is a beast. Goal of the season went to Hillenbrand, as we saw. Top goal scorer Igler with 31. Sekrovic had 16 assists. I was worried when we signed him. I shouldn't have been. Most player of the match awards went to Hillenbrand, only getting 5. That's disappointing. The highest average rating went to Glenn Coops, a 7.3 average rating. It's quite good for a guy who plays left back. Most passes completed per 90 minutes, Sekrovic with 36. I like that number. I'm a fan of the number 36. Frank Igler broke the most overall goals by a player in a season with his 31. European Champions League Defender of the Season went to Glenn Coops, and the European Champions League Golden Boot went to Igler. Their awards I haven't seen yet. So this is how our overall best 11 is looking. Any players? So Illing comes in at left back, even though he played right wing. He was a winger for us. And to be fair, he played quite well as a winger for us when he got his chances. 18 goals in 30 games in the second season. It's not bad. Tapsoba and Benkovic. How's Benkovic getting on? Still at Sheffield United. With Tapsoba as his centre-back partner. Arias retired before we arrived. And Miri is off in China, having a grand old time for himself. Buendia is off in Wuhan still, having a grand old time as well. Our 2 central midfielders in China. Bracalo, I think he moved to Fiorentina. He did, after moving to Porto, where he played no games for some reason. I genuinely have no idea why they signed him for so much money. Sold him to Fiorentina for a ridiculous loss. Sometimes I wonder. Hillenbrand as the best attacking midfielder. Rodriguez, who is playing for Brighton still. Yeah, not scoring too many goals. And Schick, who is retired. No, he is not. Playing for Navarra. He's employed by Navarra, not necessarily playing for them. Diego Costa, who was our first choice goalkeeper when we arrived, got sold to Wolves. He's been having a grand time in Wolves. Belakocic is still our player. Conrad Lamer, never really played him, to be fair. Palacios, who's just left. Kulikov, Diaby, and Gonzalez. Gonzalez is still at Newcastle. Actually scored. Okay, I was going to say he's actually scoring goals. A lot of them were in the Championship, but he scored 12 this year. So it's not had a terrible time for himself. We did finish 3rd. I thought we were going to win the league for a couple of times. You know, felt like we could have done it. The XG for the season was, our XG was 71.5. Our actual goals were 77. Expected points were 65.8. We actually got 74, which was a record for Bayer Leverkusen. And expected position was the same as what we got. So for next season, what are we looking at? What's the club culture? So club culture is staying the same. The 5-year plan is work within the wage budget, which is, I think that's just like a standard one. Minimum 3-year contracts, whatever. Increase commercial revenue. Okay. Next season they want us to qualify for the Europa League through the league and reach the first knockout round of the Champions League. I want to be winning it. I want this series finished. They want us to win the Bundesliga within 4 seasons, but they want us to challenge for it the season after. That's fine. I like that. At least there's, you know, trajectory. They want us to do stuff. So for next season, we are going to look to qualify for the Champions League. It's the kind of ambition we want. Perfect. We're going to reach the final. Sensible target. Yeah, we're going to discuss promises. Young players. Think we're all in agreement. Yeah, that's perfect. And we are going to say that's everything for now. Sounds good to me. Perfect. Enjoy your hollyballs, lads. I'll see you all back here in whenever the holidays finish, sometime in July. The end of season break, it's 8th of July, so it's a nice little break for the lads this year. We, for some reason, are going to be stuck in Europe this year. Alright, we're going to go to Austria. Do we go to Italy or do we go to Switzerland? I think we're going to go to Styria, so we can watch the Styrian Grand Prix. Because I'm sure plenty of the lads want to be involved, sitting there watching the Formula 1. I know I would. Igler, as we saw, won the Champions League Golden Boot. because he did have an absolute worldie in the group stages and then really kind of fell off a little bit. Graham Vance, when he signed for 95 million, I was like, this is the stupidest transfer I've ever seen. This guy is just not good enough to play for PSG. He's proven me wrong. Scored quite an amount of goals. Esposito got third. Igler is the only one of our players to make it into the Champions League dream team. We went pretty much the entire Champions League unbeaten, and we still only get one player in there. That's interesting. So Glenn Coops wins the defender. Is that my Salvador? That is my Salvador. So he's playing in the Champions League, but not playing in the league. Interesting. He's going to be potentially getting a World Cup this year if we can win it. Graham Vance wins the forward of the season ahead of Igler. Interesting. Tariq Lamptey getting a second for the European Champions League defender of the season. And Sansao, what a grand old time out in Italy. So we are going to be back in just a second for the transfer roundup, which should be interesting. Plenty of money to spend. We have just shy of 50 million, about 100k in wage budget, but I can imagine we're going to get some transfers because some of our players are very much wanted by many clubs. Like Jefferson Victor is wanted by Bournemouth. He'll have to go for quite an amount of money. Actually, paid like 20 something million for him. Adeyemi is wanted by Hoffenheim, who won the Euro Conference League. And Overton is wanted by Sheffield United and Real Madrid. I'm not sure why Overton's wanted by Real Madrid. I don't think he's that good. Schalke and Wolfsburg want Ude Frommer. That's all the first team players who have interest in him at the moment. But we'll soon find out how the rest of it goes. We're going to be, like I said, in the next. There's going to be. How am I going to do this? Yeah, we're going to back for the transfer roundup in just a second. It's going to take me a little while because I have the World Cup to play. So we'll be back for that in just a second. Right, fellas. The transfer window is still open. We haven't quite reached the first game of the season yet, but there is just a little tidbit of information that has arisen. We're still playing in the World Cup. We're doing really rather well. But we were offered a job. I'm not going to show you what that job is just yet, but I had to take it. The offer was too good to turn down. And I feel like I owe it to myself to expand on what we've been doing at Bayer Leverkusen. It is with a heavy heart I'm leaving though. But how could I say no to